After leaving our bush camp in the middle of nowhere, we drive further east and our first stop is a giant fallen tree. We continue along the northern coast of Scotland and unfortunately have an accident that causes some damage to one of Big Bertha's mirrors. Still in shock, we drive to Dunnet Head Lighthouse, the most northerly point on the British mainland. After a brief stop at John O'Groats and the Castle of May, we spend the night at Duncansby Head Lighthouse to see the famous sea stacks. The next day we head south, and so does the weather. We can't see a thing on the road and also miss the view of Dunbeath Castle. But the next day it's sunny again. Great. So we visit Dunrobin Castle, probably the most beautiful castle in Scotland, and enjoy the very interesting falconry display twice. After a relaxing breakfast, we continue east and pass a giant fallen tree on the side of the road. It's in a bend, so we can't stop, but find a parking spot 500 metres further down the road.
We just got out of the motorhome to take a shot of an enormous tree and it's freezing cold. So Helen is putting in her 5th gear, walking gear. Very sexy. What a nice ass wiggle. It's like Let's Dance. Very good. Where's the samba move? Look at this tree. Holy crap. I wonder when that fell over.
That must have made a noise.
That's a huge... This is a, what? 6-10 meters high roots. This is Kirsten standing at this huge tree that's fallen down. I mean, it's absolutely massive, the whole thing. That was very odd meters.
10 meters wide and 6 meters high.
Something like that. I mean, it is huge. This is where, across the road, this is where the fire is that we had the smog here. Oh yeah, the whole area.
A big tent up, a food tent.
See, this is peat bog. Once it starts burning, it's very, oh yeah, the whole area is burned. This is probably the smog we had for days.
Yeah. At the moment they're just keeping an eye on it.
It's not much.
All in there, all in the centre.
Where it burns underneath and travels underneath.
It goes for days. We're in shock. Just a few minutes ago, we were driving over a bridge. From the other side, a minivan came down the hill, cutting the corner of the bend. He was driving way too fast. I had no chance to move further to the left, or we would have gone over the rails of the bridge. And bang, his wing mirror smashed into ours. I immediately pulled over, even though there wasn't a space for me to do so, and other vehicles overtook us. Looking into the passenger side mirror, I watched the minivan racing off without stopping. Too fast to notice the registration number. Damn, damn, damn.
This is his mirror.
Fortunately, it's not too bad. Only the small plastic cover of the bulb is broken. The mirrors and electronics are all intact and still working. Fran and Peter were right behind us when the accident happened. They had stopped in the next lay-by to see if we needed any help. I phoned McRent and was told to fill out the damage form. We also went back to the bridge to pick up the minivan's mirror and attachment in case we needed them. After a well-deserved cup of tea, we visit Dunnet Head Lighthouse, the most northerly point of the Scottish and British mainlands. Perched on top of stunning 91-metre cliffs, the lighthouse was built in 1831. You can see the light from a distance of 23 miles, and it was automated in 1989. These spectacular cliffs are home to thousands of nesting birds, including guillemots, razorbills and the much-loved puffin. It also provides a fine vantage point for whale watching, Pods of orcas, porpoises and dolphins can be spotted during migration around the north coast of Scotland.
And what do you say? Great weather again, huh?
Superb. You can actually see something.
Yeah. We can see right over to the office. Hello, puffin.
We walk to a viewpoint and see a solitary puffin in the steep cliffs. We just talked to a group of people from Yorkshire who are doing a circular 500-mile drive in Scotland, starting and finishing in Inverness. They're hoping to see puffins, but hadn't seen any yet. So I walked back up to tell them of our discovery. They're really, really happy to see a puffin, even though it was just one. It makes their day, and makes us feel a lot better after our accident.
Yeah, little guy, we're watching you, huh?
Does he look towards us?
We're going now. Have a good life, sweetie. We're on our way to the Castle of May. It's an awesome entranceway here.
The Castle of May was built between 1566 and 1572 and was owned by the Queen's mother from 1952 until 1996. It is open 7 days a week from the 1st of May until 30th of September each year. Unfortunately, it's already closed for the day by the time we get there.
Yeah! Most northern point! We made it! I'm off chilling lots.
It's John O'Groats. Yeah. Well, second most northern point.
We're good. We're good.
John O'Groats is the most northerly point of the British road system and famous for being the farthest point by main road from Land's End in the southwest of Cornwall.
Nice little hotel. This is the end of the road, which we have reached. Now we're going south again, more or less, right?
Right, whatever that was.
We're going south again.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. It's 1,000 miles to get here, but we went the other way around. We went across from
1,000 miles from Edinburgh.
Edinburgh via Stirling, and we went over to
Skye
Inverary
and
and Oban,
Yeah.
and Skye, and then came around the north.
And the weather got better and better.
It did. And supposedly today it was supposed to rain, but it didn't. And tomorrow it's supposed to rain.
It's
Well,
not raining because we're here.
Exactly. So, nice colour houses.
Yeah, it's a hotel.
Yeah, the inn.
And the campground is further in the back there, but we're trying to find another nice and peaceful spot tonight, and free. This is it. Got to the end of the road. Now we're turning around and go south again. This is a very narrow road going up to Duncansby Lighthouse. Hopefully there is no oncoming traffic, because there's no way that we can avoid anybody here. Ah, there we go. And I can see already MC rent motorhomes up here, and of course sheep.
He's not moving, is he?
You're good. Hannah didn't want any lamb chops tonight.
The little ones don't know what they're doing yet, so or maybe they do know what they're doing.
They're sticking their asses out. Lots of motorhomes up here. I reckon this is a car park for the night. So let me see where we can park. These are the famous sea stacks at Duncansby. It's about half a mile to walk to them. And this is the lighthouse, and in the distance you can see the lighthouse on an island. 2 lighthouses in one picture. It's not very often.
Duncansby Head is the most northeasterly part of both the Scottish and British mainlands. The lighthouse was established in 1924 and is 67 metres high. Next to the lighthouse, the Duncansby Stacks, prominent sea stacks just off the coast, are the main attraction here. It's an easy 30-minute walk to see them close up and personal. In 2016, it was reported in the Sunday Post newspaper that scientists from the Atomic Weapons Establishment in Aldermaston had proposed a nuclear weapon test on the stacks of Duncansby in 1953. But the prevailing wet weather was too much for contemporary electronics, and the idea was shelved. Through the gap you can see Pentland Skerry's Lighthouse, built in 1794 on Muckle Skerry Island.
On the edge, isn't it?
The cliffs at Duncansby Head are full of birds. And for the second time today, we are lucky to see puffins.
We decided to stay here for the night. It's already 8 o'clock in the evening, hard to believe, but we're not on our own. As you can see, it's almost like being on a campground. There's lots of RVs here, but it's a super spot.
What a great place to stop for the night. The weather is just unbelievable again. It's not very often that you get a clear view of the Orkney Islands from here. After the amazing sunset, we also watched the full moon rising tonight. Wow, what a day today. "20 minutes later, the first clouds are rolling in. Within minutes, it's freezing cold and we are covered in thick fog. Time to get inside and have a hot cup of tea and dinner."
This is what we can see today. It's raining. This is what it usually is. And you certainly can't see the Orkneys today. But we still had a good night here. This is what the stacks look like today, in the fog. We're going south now, and so is the weather. It's going south too, meaning it's pissing down with rain, which is actually typical for Scotland. We are driving more carefully today since we lost part of our mirror yesterday, not due to our fault, but we're hoping that the weather is going to improve further south. We're heading for Dunrobin Castle today. And you can see when the sun's not out, this landscape looks really kind of sad and boring. It makes a huge difference if the sun's shining in Scotland or not. Right?
The dramatic tower house ruins of Kais Castle has been standing since the late 16th, early 17th century.
We're at Tesco and we're trying stuff on for the wedding. Guck mal, Spiegel. We hang you up, yeah. Oh god, this is hilarious. See, I found quite a sweet little dress, but I don't have shoes for that. But Helen looks silly. How do you want a photo? You can't dance like this.
It's terrible, isn't it?
We're actually driving along the coast, but we can't see a thing. Thick fog. Yeah, it's on our left, according to our GPSs. But
in 1 mile, turn right on C1089, then take the first left.
yeah, we want to have a look at a castle. I'm not even sure if we can see it. We'll see in a minute. This is supposed to be Dunbeath Castle. Right in the middle, on the top, there's a white patch. That would be the castle if we could see it. It would be a perfect spot here, actually, to see it, but we can't see a thing today. It looks really, really rough today. Well, we just keep going. It's just one of the many castles here in Scotland. We are in. Do you have the fog lights on, Helen? We can't see more than 20 meters right now. This is really, really spooky. It's super scary. Thank God there's not a lot of traffic on the road. It actually looks better through the camera than in real life. It's super misty. We made it to Dunrobin Castle. It's 9 o'clock, isn't it, in the evening? The light will be going soon, but we found a spot on the car parked here, and we hope it's okay for the night. And then we see what happens tomorrow morning. 3 old Jaguars.
After spending a quiet night on the car park at Dunrobin Castle, we are glad to see that the sun is shining again. The castle is open to the public at 10:30 a.m. The entrance fee is £12 per person, and photography is allowed inside and outside.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dunrobin Castle is the home of the Earls and Dukes of Sutherland. It's a hunting castle, and the oldest part of the castle dates back to 1275. The current Duchess of Sutherland is 97 years old and no longer lives in the castle, but she still lives in one of the other buildings on the property.
This is the pool room in Dunrobin. And the dining room. Very nice ceilings in here. This is the main dining room. Nice silverware in here. It's very, it's more like a hunting castle, isn't it? All very brown and very comfortable for a castle. This is the amazing living room. Wow. That looks really, really comfy. Love the details in here. These are the gardens, they're amazing too. Beautiful symmetry.
Those steps over there, but that's not bad. And it's padded at the top.
This
so
is
it
a
doesn't
brilliant
damage the
idea.
books or anything.
We need this in aluminium and then it would be fine for nowadays.
And look at the craftsmanship, the workmanship.
The ladies' sitting room. Very comfortable.
The library houses over 10,000 books, many of them fine and rare editions. You can see the oldest part of the castle, dating back to 1275, through a few windows, and a small passageway allows access to this part of the castle. This castle is truly full of treasures from the old days, and very interesting to wander around.
This is the nursery. What a brilliant room.
Oh gosh,
What do you think that is, Helen?
is it an instrument?
Well, it is. Any ideas?
No. Oh, there you go.
Victorian.
Wow. Wow, that's
Padded,
yeah.
but look, just look at that. Look at I call it chamfering. I don't know whether that's the right or wrong technical term.
You know what I said, Helen? I said we could use that in a motorhome with aluminium.
Yeah.
Aluminum, as they say in the United.
It
Aluminum.
wouldn't be as good. It's tactile and aluminum.
Yeah, but we need something light.
Next to the gardens is a rather macabre museum housing a large number of animal heads from all the hunting that was done in the last century or so. Back then, it was what everyone from the upper class did, but seeing it now seems very grotesque.
We were lucky to have the sunshine again. It's a beautiful castle and amazing gardens in here. We are going to watch the falcon show in a minute.
The £12 entrance fee is well worth the money here, because there are also 2 falcon shows a day in the gardens. Andrew Hughes looks after all the birds of prey here, all of which were born in captivity. He has been working with such birds for 40 years and used to work for the Royal Air Force.
Can't see.
There are 2 shows a day. Each one lasts for about 40 minutes. During the first show, Andrew will show us a falcon and a hawk and explain the differences between them.
Oh, it's Sunday today, isn't it? Andrew today. This is also Sticker. Let me tell you a bit about him. He's a 13-year-old Saker falcon. This is the falcon that the Arabic Bedouin would have been trapping and training in around 2.5 weeks. They'll be taking this particular species of falcon on their camel trains across the desert to help them procure food. They would have been catching a form of game bird in the desert called a bustard. It's called a houbara, and apparently it goes very nice with couscous and rice.
The falcon has shorter legs and kills other birds in the air by swooping down at such a speed that they literally punch the heads of their prey. They can dive at speeds of up to 250 miles per hour and use their claws as fists. It's the fastest bird in the world. Kirsten has serious problems to get it on camera, but manages to take a few pictures on the second flight of the falcon.
He's also utilising his wings to keep that lure covered just the same as he would catching a bird in the desert. He's protecting that from any other predators seeing it so that he doesn't have it stolen from him. Now, I'm going to get Sticky on my glove, and I'm going to bring him close to the crowd. I'm going to have a look at some of the other physical features that make him He's going to be putting that food in there as quickly as possible. The reason being, flying takes a huge amount of energy, and if he only catches 1 in 10, when he does catch something, he's got to make sure that food is utilised back into his system for energy and flying again tomorrow and hunting. So I'm going to get Gringo back down here again, and I'm going to try and get Gringo into this tree here, and then from the tree you'll be able to see, hey Gringo, you'll be able to see how he catches his rabbit. Okay.
A hawk has longer legs and is not as streamlined as the falcon because they have bigger breasts and longer tails.
You can see gringos hanging on to that for dear life.
It kills ground animals such as rabbits, snakes and ptarmigans.
That's how Ellen would catch his rabbit. No chance. So I'm simulating exactly what a rabbit would do. Back out here a minute. These feet that he has, he's so strong, he's got a very special system going on.
I think he's stuck on that thing.
No, you know how to let go. There you go.
Okay. It's not easy for him to let go sometimes, but while he's eating that, I can hide that rabbit in the bag. Good boy. Good boy. I could use this also if we were going to move from one wood to another.
The last bird for this morning's show is another falcon.
I will be flying another little bird at the bottom shortly when I just pick him up and feed him, but that is the end of the display for this morning. Thanks very much for coming down.
This owl is amazing. Golden eagle.
Okay, just calm down. No one's going to steal it. And then they use them in what display?
That's a beautiful colour, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Beautiful. The sun's just catching it.
After the show, we can ask Andrew questions and get really close to the birds. Fantastic. It's a super show and so interesting that we decide to stay for the second show at 2 o'clock as well.
We have time now to wander through the beautiful gardens. This was well worth coming here. It's a mix of show, ancient history, beautiful gardens, well worth the £12 entrance fee.
After our superb visit of Dunrobin Castle, we drive all the way to Elgin Cathedral to see the impressive ruins. Northeast of the cathedral, we spend the night at Bow Fiddle Rock. We continue to Dufftown and Speyside, the famous whisky-making region of Scotland, and take a tour at the Speyside cooperage, where whisky barrels are made and repaired.
And there's ones under the viewing gallery.